Good evening, everybody. This is Scott DeCamp of CatchMark SportsNet. This is the Coach's Corner, another episode with Whitehall football coach Tony Sigmon. Thanks for coming in, Tony.
Thanks for having us.
And let's welcome our special guest tonight, Senior Red Watson. Thanks for coming in tonight, Red. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Good deal. He's a lockdown cornerback, playmaking receiver, return man. There's not a lot of things on the football field that this young man can't do. So welcome to the show, guys. If you could, we'll just mention the game real quick, obviously, the big game Friday. Whitehall pulled out a 34-14 battle for the Bell victory over Montague at home. We'll get to the details of the game in a moment, but first, Tony, can you tell us, our viewers, a little bit more about Red and the guy, the young man we have sitting in front of us right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Red is a 2-year starter for us on varsity. He started every game for us, his junior year and senior year, and he's really having a fantastic year. He has 12 pass breakups at corner right now, a really explosive wide receiver, kick returner, and I'll tell you what, I knew he was going to have a big year, really kind of starting out when we started doing our workouts and everything, getting into 7-on-7s into July, and he really has just kind of started there and hasn't looked back, and has really just done a fantastic job for us, and any role and every role that we've asked him to do, and he's just a great football player, plays basketball as well. And I know that Coach Subden is really excited about having him on the basketball team, and I'm hoping I can keep him as long as possible as a football player this year. But yeah, that's Red Watson, just doing a fantastic job for us across the board.
I know high schoolers typically look forward to the weekend. You probably hate Sunday nights, but was this weekend a little nicer than most just because of the big victory? You got the bell, got to ring the bell, all those things. Were you just kind of on cloud nine all weekend?
Yes, I was really excited. I celebrated a lot with all my friends and family.
When you say celebrate, can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit, or are we not in the proper place to say that?
We just hung out and just screaming at the top of our lungs who got the bell.
No, that's cool. That was cool seeing you guys do that Friday when the bell was brought to midfield at the end of the game by the Montague administration. Your administration came out and got it, and you guys were ready to basically tackle Mr. Beebe. And he goes, hold up, back up. And then all of a sudden, raise the bell. You guys grab it and then take it off down the field and everything. But that was really cool. In terms of that whole thing, I mean, what were the emotions in that?
Well, it was a lot of emotions. A lot of seniors was crying. Everybody was just very excited and just antsy.
Yeah, it had been a little while. It had been since 2014, I believe, since the bell was in Whitehall. But that game in and of itself, it was not just for the bell, but it was for a conference title. So there was a lot riding on that game. And it was a tight game throughout the whole way until the fourth quarter. I thought you guys really asserted yourselves and took command of that game. And what it meant, too, was you guys got to share the title along with Montague, plus Oak Ridge, which pulled out a wild 43-36 win over Ravenna. So it's a three-way tie. All three teams finished 5-1. As far as the game you played in, though, what do you think really swung it for you guys in the fourth quarter?
In the fourth quarter, I think that when Nate Boley got the pick, that's when we knew it was like, yeah, the game is over. We got it in the bag.
And then, you darn near took a kickoff back to the house, right? What did you see on that? What did you see on the plane? Do you think you were going to get to the end zone?
I didn't think I was going to get to the end zone, but I thought I was going to get to R40, but then it just kept going and going.
And then, Tony, what would you say were the keys to the victory Friday night?
I think we were able to really capitalize on some turnovers. Braden Van Patten's interception I thought was crucial because I think at that point it was 14-7, and we were able to score there to make it 21-7. And then, when Nate got the interception, as Red talked about, that was really just a way that we were able to capitalize. Getting out of halftime after we had a long drive and we came up just short as far as a field goal, and then being able to regroup and go down and score on our first drive was huge. And then just really being able to just play really complimentary football. I thought Nate did a good job as far as the punt, where the ball sailed over his head and he was able to flip the field. And then with the way that our secondary played all night long, we were able to really focus and emphasize pressure on their run game, and working from there. So I think it was just really an overall team effort. And, there's so many things that happen during the course of those types of games where, it can really make or break you one way or the other. And, I think we could find a laundry list of those plays where if one thing would have changed a little bit different, just like we've seen in the past, when we're on the opposite end of this, where, it was a difference between victory and defeat. And there's a lot of those there this week for sure.
No, and now that you mentioned that, I think the same thing, because you're covering a game and you think of so many different moments, but yeah, I kind of forgot about that high punt snap, and stuff happens, and like you said, he did a great job of recovering and getting the punt off, and that saved some field position and everything, and and then you guys kind of dodged a bullet, and so did they. Where you both had great scoring opportunities. I know yours right before the half, and then theirs a little earlier than that, but those things can definitely swing the momentum of a game, like you said, I think. But you mentioned after the game, one of the things that I really thought was good was talking about it's about these players, but it's also about the players before them, and you're kind of building a layer upon layer and getting to the point you are now. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so when I got hired in 2013, I was there'd been a lot of turnover as far as coaching staffs. We had a combined junior and senior class of 13 kids, and we were really trying hard to recruit the hallways and try to get as many kids out for football as possible. And we were selling hope. We hope we could do this. We hope we could win a game. We hope we could, be competitive with the teams in our area and obviously the top tiers in the conference. And that's a hard sell. Sometimes when that necessarily hadn't been there as far as the consistency, because when I look throughout Whitehall, our best teams are the most consistent teams. You look at what Coach Michelson has done with track, and Coach Weigel has done in baseball, and Coach Utzel, and the list goes on and on, where these coaches and Coach Mahan have been there not for 4 years or 5 years, but decades. And there's a standard, there's an expectation, there's an understanding of what you're getting into the program, not necessarily just with what you think you're getting into, but also maybe like a relative, older cousin, brother, sister, something along those lines. So for us to come in fresh and try to build something like that, and to be able to be a conference champion and beat a very talented Montague team, when they're ranked in the top 10 in Division 6, that takes some time to build. And the kids that start to buy into that early on were some of the kids that I started thinking about, where it's like, this is, we couldn't be here without them investing into our program and really starting to set the standard for, what we hope to be. And so, that's what's so great about this. And it was a very, very reflective moment to think about some of those guys, and to think about, the people that were fully invested and committed, and people that Red, I'm sure, looked up to, and other kids on our football team looked up to where it's like, this is the right way of doing it, and this is how we want to, we want to be remembered by, and then have a name for it. And to be able to have that connection there is very powerful.
How special was it, Red, to have that, not only everything that was on the line, but the senior night where you're able to be honored before the game, and just the atmosphere? Last year, of course, with COVID, crowds were restricted, but, you're talking about a packed house, Friday night at your football stadium. And even I looked over at the water tower, and the little hatch was open. Someone was up there recording. I didn't know if it was Zach Zweigel, our guy, videoing the game up there or not, or one of our dudes up there. But, what was it like just to kind of play in an atmosphere like that?
It was really nice. It was really nice. It made me want to play harder, because a lot of people watching me. So it's kind of a lot of pressure too, though.
Yeah, and Tony, you've alluded quite a few times about this team, about the senior leadership, and that's strong on this team. Obviously, Red being among that. Red, this week, switching gears a little bit, you're facing Reed City. You're going up to Reed City this week. Both 7-1 teams, both conference champions. How important is it to kind of keep your focus online and leave that game last week behind, and kind of maybe turn the page, and knowing that there's a lot riding on this game, maybe even a home playoff game or two possibly? How important is this to get that done?
It's very important. A lot of people, it's going to be harder for people to stop thinking about the Bell and the conference championship, but hopefully we can turn it around and get focused.
And what would you say about that, in terms of the importance of this game? And how special would it if you can pull that one off Friday at Reed City, maybe be home again when, obviously you celebrate senior night, but everyone wants to play another home game if they can.
Without question. I mean, during the playoffs, home field advantage is huge. And we recognize that and we understand. Some of that's out of our control with playoff points and who we play and who other teams play, and we get that piece. But we can take care of our own business too, where we can play at a high level against a really good opponent. The biggest thing is it's about peaking at the right time. And so we're only as good as our last game. So right now we're peaking really well because we beat a good Montague team. That goes away if we show up at Reed City and we don't play at a high level, especially against a very good opponent. So we have to make sure that we're moving forward in the right direction because 8-1 really and 7-2 probably really is a serious difference maker as far as how many playoff games we could get at home if we're fortunate enough to have any, and really set us up for a district seeding, whatever you want to call it, because this is now this is the special time of high school football. And fast forward a week from now, half the teams are turning in their equipment. And every week on top of that gets amplified, and it's just the field obviously shrinks. So if we want to continue to be there towards the end, we have to make sure that this game is the most important game for us.
Yeah, this truly does become a playoff situation Friday. It's not technically, but really that's the feel, because you're facing a 7-1 team. You can get some major playoff bonus points for a victory there, which could help you, of course, with getting that home game. But I think now's time to kind of switch gears just a little bit again and maybe put the spotlight on Red a little bit. I'm sure you're going to love this part. So I want to start with the name Red. People call you Red. What is your birth name?
Jamarcus Watson.
Where does Red come from?
I was born with red hair, so red just kind of stuck.
So when's the last time that you were sporting the red hair?
What?
You said you're born with it.
Yeah.
You still got it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it as much.
In the summer, you can see it's more red, but as it started getting colder out, it started getting a little darker.
I was going to say, because didn't really jump out at me like that. I wouldn't have thought that. But no, that's cool. But so in terms of, I've heard from a little birdie, I can't say who, can't reveal where this is coming from, but it's been said Red is going to red. Red is going to do red. What does that mean?
I mean, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do what red do.
What does red do?
Red lock up opponents. That's what red do.
Who are your biggest influences, like in your life? Who have been the biggest, along your life's journey so far, who have been your biggest influences?
My brother, Chucky, he's been really big, but he moved to Vegas. He's still living out there, doing pretty good. My cousin, C.J. Watson, he came through Whitehall as a basketball player. He was a hard worker. And Terrell Harris, he also my cousin. He's doing pretty good right now, I hope.
And then what about your future plans? What's after Whitehall? Where do you hope to be? Where do you hope to end up?
Hopefully somewhere playing sports, basketball, football, or track.
And then, Tony, what is your favorite Red story that you like to tell? Or what would you say to people about Red?
Well, to tell you the truth, when it comes to Red, there's a lot of great things about him. And to try to pick one is tough. However, there was one that kind of came to the surface a little bit here the other day, and we started having our kids do parodies of coaches. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very disappointed in my parody. It just was non-existent. It just wasn't there. I think others were disappointed in it too, to be honest with you. However, maybe that's because we started out with Red doing a impression of Coach Subden, and it was so lock on and so perfect. I don't know if any other impression really would have been able to meet that expectation. So I know that that Coach Subden and Red have a great relationship and everything, because obviously that's his position, coach in football and head basketball coach and everything. But to say that it was perfect might be an understatement. So I don't know if this whole sports thing and this academic stuff always will work out, although he definitely can do all of it. But I think he might have a future in comedy and impressions, because he might be one of those SNL guys here moving forward a little bit later if he can pull off those types of impressions.
Well, consider this an audition then. You got the bright lights. We're on TV right here. Can you show us a little bit of that Christian Subden impersonation?
I can.
Gotta stand up to do it, though.
You're good. Yep.
Oh my God, man, stop, man. Hold on. Run with him, man. What are you doing? Oh my God. And that's Christian Sumner for you.
What did he think about that?
He thought it was really funny and spot on.
You better be careful. You might lose a little bit of playing time in basketball season for that.
Probably.
Yeah, it's all
It's
right.
worth it.
Yeah. So no, but anything else? Just about just this experience it's been like for you at Whitehall, and just maybe what are the goals that you have left?
One of my goals as far as football is to try to be all-state corner. Yeah, was one of my goals last year, but yeah.
All right. Any other closing thoughts from either you, Red or Tony?
You know, it's a really exciting time for us to be at Whitehall right now, and first time that we had a chance to win a conference championship and win the Bell. And I'm really looking forward to our meeting on Monday and really being able to finish the season strong. And, you know, hopefully we can make a big splash in the playoffs too. So it's an exciting time here right now for us.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. That does it for the show tonight. I'm Scott DeCamp with CatchMark SportsNet. Check us out on CatchMarkSports.com. Appreciate you watching us tonight, guys. Good night.